It's called the Ohio Justice Criminal Recodification Committee. What does that mean exactly? Well, it means justice reform. Thousands and thousands of pages of criminal code in Ohio. A bipartisan commission is getting together to really take a hard look at the issue of overcrowding in our prisons and reforming the justice system. Somebody who is really passionate and knows a lot about that very argument is lending her voice to this. Piper Kerman is the author of Orange is the New Black, which is also the subject of a very big hit TV show on Netflix called Orange is the New Black. Thanks for your time. And first of all, this is really near and dear to you. Why is it so important?
The kind of justice reform that Ohio is undertaking is so important because it affects so many people in Ohio's lives. Not just the people who we lock away in our prisons and jails, but their kids, their parents, their communities. The punishment of a prison sentence often punishes far more than the person who has committed a crime. So it's really important to consider whether it's always worth it to rely on prison and jail cells to address the problems that we have in our community. And so I'm very impressed with the fact that Ohio is taking a top-to-bottom look at the criminal code with the hopes of potentially making more sensible decisions about public safety here in Ohio.
And you don't just talk about this from the 30,000-foot level. You actually go into Ohio prisons and try to help inmates there. Tell us a little bit about what you do at the Women's Reformatory and also at the Marion Correctional Institute.
I'm so delighted that the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections is allowing me to teach writing classes at the Ohio Reformatory for Women and also at the Marion Correctional Institution for Men. And I work with relatively small classes in both of those prisons, and those folks are working on nonfiction writing. They're writing about their own lives, making sense of their own choices and some of the things that contributed to them being in prison, and also other aspects of their life, because no person in prison is defined only by their biggest mistake. We are all very multifaceted people, and that's true for everybody that we lock up as well.
What was it that really turned your life around? Because with the book that you wrote and now the TV show, what was it? What's your takeaway and your message to people out there that may not really understand what it's like to be part of the correction system?
I entered prison with a lot of good fortune on my side. I had had a good public education. I had had the opportunity to go to college. I had had many years working in the legitimate economy before I was incarcerated. And those things contributed to me being successful when I returned home. But the number one thing that contributed to me being successful after I was released from prison was my family and my friends and my community that stood by me, even though I had made a big mistake. And making sure that each and every person who gets locked away in our prison has the ability to stay connected to their family, to their community, to, whatever their family is broadly considered, is so important if we want to reduce recidivism. I mean, it has, not just a sort of heart and soul importance, but it has a dollars and cents importance, because we know that prisoners who have the ability to be successful by rejoining a group of people who care about them are much less likely to return to prison.
Final question. Orange is the New Black. Are you working on the next season of that?
We are hard at work on season 4 and keeping our fingers crossed for the Emmys.
Best of luck to you, and thank you for calling Ohio home as well, Piper.
Oh, I'm really enjoying my time here in Columbus.
For the very latest on the Ohio Criminal Justice Recodification Commission Justice Reform, you can tune into our social media channels. That's at Ohio Senate GOP, and also on the web, it's ohiosenate.gov/Republicans. I'm John Fortney from the Ohio Senate.